So first, of course, we'll start or we will state the learning outcomes. So ito yung mga dapat nyong matutunan, gawin at the end of our lesson. So number 1, illustrate continuity of a function at a point and then determine whether a function is continuous at a point or not. Yung kanina na in example, so we can determine, so we will discuss on how to determine if a function is continuous or not. So una at a point, and then yung pangalawa, we will discuss about regarding interval. So illustrate continuity of a function on an interval and determine whether a function is continuous on an interval. So learning outcomes kasi ano na tayo ngayon, 'di ba? Outcome-based learning. So kailangan ito yung magawa nyo at the end of the lesson. Hopefully. Yan. Okay, so first topic natin is continuity at a point. So introduction. So naka-state dito class that limit of f of x as x approaches c, yung constant natin, is not necessarily the same as f of c. Okay, ano yung f of c class? Ito yung kapag sinubstitute yung constant dito, di ba? Isa-substitute sa mismong function. So, hindi lahat class, not all cases na mag-i-equal sila. Because, di ba nga yung mga sinabi nyo kanina, there are times na the limit of a function does not exist. Ibig sabihin, walang limit yung given na function. Ibig sabihin, of course, kung does not exist, hindi siya equal sa f of c. Wherein yung f of c is yung isa-substitute mo nga. Usually, mag-i-equal ito class kapag polynomial functions, di ba? Pero kapag piecewise, if you remember yung lesson, yung example natin before, yung piecewise, it does not exist siya. I think mababalikan yung example na yun later, mamaya sa discussion. Okay, so take note lang yung limit natin does not necessarily the same as f of c. Kasi not at all times na the same sila. Okay, so let's discuss about limits and continuity at a point. So binanggit ito class pala, yung introduction natin. Kasi magagamit ito class to determine if the given function natin is continuous at a point or not. Like for example, this one, example number 1 natin. So given lang tayo ng graph class. So yung function natin is 3x minus 1. Okay, so this is linear. So is the function continuous at x is equal to 1? So what is your answer class? Continuous ba yung function? So given tayo ng point which is x equal to 1. Yung x equal to 1 natin is ito, di ba? So what do you think? Is the function continuous at x equal to 1? Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng continuous? Ayan, so yes, the function is continuous at x equal to 1. So basically, para malaman class na continuous yung point na yon sa function is if naka-define yung point na yon sa given na graph. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang corresponding value for y dun sa point na yon. Diba? So for x equal to 1, nakadefine yung value ng x na yon dun sa function natin. What I mean is kapag sinubstitute class, 3 times 1, 6 minus 1, that is 5. Hold on, mali. Sorry. 3 times 1 is 3. Saan ko galing yung 5? 3 multiplied by 1 is 3 minus 1 is 2. Kaya 1, 2. Okay? So, ibig sabihin meron siyang point. Merong point para dun sa x is equal to 1, which is yung 2. Or, pwede rin class na isipin nyo na kapag ginawa yung graph, ito, di ba pag ginraph ito, so ganyan siya. Hindi mo kailangan i-lift yung pen mo para i-draw yung graph. So kapag ganon, continuous siya. Ito, tuloy-tuloy. Pag ginraph mo siya at x equal to 1, hindi mo i-lift. And then i-continue mo yung graph mo. So magbigay tayo ng example na i-lift siya. Like this one. Na-discuss natin yung whole class. So iba yung function dito. 3x squared, this is actually a rational function, di ba? Yung merong denominator. Pang ilang topic this lesson 3? Lesson 3, pero ito yung first topic dun sa lesson na ito. So function is this one, 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 over x minus 1. Is the function continuous at x equal to 1? How about this class? Continuous ba siya? So, hindi siya continuous class. So, bakit? Who can tell me kung bakit? So, no yung mga sagot. So, tama. Ayun, parang nabigay ko na kanina. Dahil may whole class. Yung ibig sabihin ng whole, na-discuss rin ito nung GenMat eh. Hindi nakadefine yung point na yon sa graph. Kumbaga, wala sa domain ng function yung x equal to 1. Kasi kapag sinubstitute natin class, yung 1 minus 1 is 0. Wherein kapag rational class, hindi pwedeng mag-0 yung denominator. It is undefined. Okay? So that is why no yung sagot dito. Or discontinuous siya. Kapag tinrace mo yung graph dito class, ililift mo yung pen mo, di ba? To continue. So ito yung sinasabi ko. Kasi whole yun. Ibig sabihin parang from the word whole, butas siya. Hindi nakadefine yung point na yon kasi hindi siya kasama sa graph. So meaning, hindi siya continuous. From the word na continuous, di ba? Tuloy-tuloy. How about this one? Consider the graph of the function h of x equal to 1 over x. So this is a rational function still. So is the function continuous at x equal to 0? Ayan. So one way is to substitute, di ba, class? If you want, 1 over 0 is undefined. So hindi siya continuous class. And kapag chinak mo yung graph niya, nakahiwalay class. Di ba? Ito, may graph ka dito. And then, ililift mo pa rin yung pen mo dito to draw the graph. And wala nga nakadefine na point corresponding y for 0. So, it is not continuous or no yung sagot dito. Ito pala. So, yung limit ng 1 over x is, ito yung na-discuss natin, yung negative infinity. And negative infinity siya dito. Then positive infinity siya doon. So in short, magkaiba sila ng limit. Therefore, the function is discontinuous at x equal to 0. Okay? Example number 4. How about the same function class, but the question is the function continuous at x equal to 2? How about this? If you will substitute yung 2, meron na siyang corresponding point, di ba? Pwede one way yon to check. So meron, ibig sabihin continuous siya kasi naka-define yung point na yon. Di ba? When you trace the graph class for x equal to 2, tuloy-tuloy siya. Ibig sabihin, merong point para doon, which is here. Okay? So ibig sabihin, continuous siya without lifting your pen. 'Di ba? Tuloy-tuloy. So answer here is continuous. Take note na lang sa mga sagot klasa. Kasi itong PowerPoint ko, hindi ko, kumbaga dinidiscuss ko yung sagot. Hindi ko nilalagay para at least you can answer, di ba? How about this one? So, what if hindi given yung graph class? Pero yun nga yung sinabi ko, you can substitute if you want. If naka-define yung point na yon, ibig sabihin continuous siya. Pero what if walang graph class? So, magagamit nyo ito class kapag na-meet itong 3 conditions na ito, ibig sabihin continuous. Continuous yung function natin at a point. Okay? So, allow me to read. A function is said to be continuous at x equal to c if the following 3 conditions are satisfied. So, first one, kapag nag-exist c, f of c. Kapag nag-substitute ka class, mamaya may example tayo, hindi ito mag-undefined. So, merong value. Also, kapag kinuha yung limit, nag-exist siya. And yung first one and then the second one is equal. Okay, so ibig sabihin pala yung diniscuss natin kanina, itong introduction. So, di ba there are cases na hindi the same? Kapag the same yung limit ng f of x sa f of c, ibig sabihin, continuous sila. Okay, so yun yung way natin din. So once na merong hindi na-meet dito class, let's say D and E ito does not exist, or any of those, ibig sabihin discontinuous siya. Okay, let's have an example. Example number 5, determine, so this is a polynomial function, determine if this function is continuous or not at x equal to 1. So using the 3 conditions, kapag tumama dito sa tatlo, ibig sabihin continuous siya. So this is one way to check if continuous din siya without actually doing the graph. So if you want to solve, so pwede rin siya. So if x equal to 1, then f of 1 is equal to 0. Substituting. 1, 1, 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2 minus 2. So 0. So ibig sabihin, f of c exists. Merong value. Yung limit, as you can see, yung pag-compute ng limit is the same lang din. It's like substituting. So 0 siya. Okay? Yung dinidiscuss natin dito, yung substituting, is yung, di ba, yung na-discuss na natin na it's like yung shortcut method. Di ba, yung substituting natin. So 0 ito. Pero technically, di ba yung dun sa table of values natin, sine-check natin if saan siya nag-approach. Pero you can actually, para mas mabilis, you can substitute. So 0 siya. So since the same sila class, so na-meet niya itong tatlo, ibig sabihin continuous yung function natin. Okay? And then 7. So determine if this function is continuous or not at x equal to 2. So, ano yung sagot nyo dito? Yan, sige. Para meron naman interaction. How about the others? So, ayan. So, very good. John, Carlo. Ayan. So, kasi kapag sinubstitute ito, magzi-zero siya, which is undefined. Ibig sabihin, yung f of c is not, kumbaga does not exist class. So, once na merong isa dito na hindi na-meet, discontinuous na siya. Okay? So, 2 minus 2, 0. Kapag 0, ayaw natin yung class. Kapag hindi natin, basta lagi nyo tatandaan, hindi pwedeng i-divide yung, hindi pwedeng maging denominator yung 0. Hindi pwedeng mag-divide sa 0. How about this one? And actually dito binigay na niya yung, nilagay ko yung solution. Ito yung sinasabi ko, yung last na example natin. I mean, yung from the previous lesson, yung piecewise, so determine if this function is continuous or not at x equal to 4. Since class, okay, sige, allow me to read na lang. So note that f is defined as x equal to 4 since f of 4 is equal to 3. So yung 4 is naka-define. So dito siya. Piecewise ito class. So merong corresponding function for specific value of x. So for x equal to 4, dito siya nagpo-fall. So 4 minus 4, 0. So 3 yung sagot dito. However, class, yung limit kapag dun sa left side ng 4, equal siya sa 5. And then yung dun sa right side naman ng 4, or yung greater than 4, that is equal to 3. Diba ito yung example natin before? Kaya nag-does not exist ito dahil magkaiba sila ng value for the left side tsaka right side continuity. So therefore, if meron isa, I mean, yung limit nito does not exist. Diba meron tayong 3 conditions? So yung una, yung kanina dito, does not exist yung dito niya. Okay? In this case, yung does not exist naman dito is yung limit. Kaya nag-discontinuous siya at x equal to 4. Basta, if yung limit is does not exist or yung f of c does not exist, either of the two, discontinuous na siya. Okay? So next topic, continuity on an interval. Ito naman class, from the word interval, meron siyang coverage. Hindi lang isang point yung chine-check natin. Okay, so meron tayong one-sided continuity class. So continuous from the left or yung mas mababa sa C. Just think of it as dun sa left side ni C para mas madali. Yung mas mababa kay C. Okay, so ibig sabihin continuous from the left siya kapag equal sila. Kapag naman from the right, yung mas mataas dun sa C, so continuous siya from the right at x equal to C. This is what we call one-sided continuity class. Okay, so here are known facts on continuities of functions on intervals. Okay, so malaman nyo kung anong interval. Ibig sabihin ng interval, meron siyang range class. Continuity of polynomial, absolute value, rational, and square root functions. Letter A, take note. So these are facts. Polynomial functions are continuous everywhere. Kasi nga, naka-define for polynomial functions class, di ba? Usually curve yan. So naka-define lahat ng points. So they are continuous everywhere. Walang mag-undefined sa kanila. As well as absolute value. Naka-define lahat ng points. So continuous. Sa rational functions class, continuous lang kapag yung value is nasa domain niya. Diba? Possible na discontinuous yung rational kapag merong, let's say, zero yung denominator. Naka-undefined siya. Okay? And then kapag square root function class, continuous siya. Take note, kapag positive numbers lang. Kasi negative square root ng negative class is not a real number. So hindi siya naka-define doon. Okay? So example. Example, kita pa rin ba to? Ayan. Limits and continuity on an interval. So given a graph class, saan yung function nito? Hindi pinigay yung functions. Anyway, so given tayo ng graph, so this is a parabola actually. So using the given graph, determine if the function f is continuous on the following intervals. A, from negative 1 to 1. Is it continuous on this interval? Ibig sabihin yung range na to. You just have to check class if naka-define yung points from negative 1 to 1. So meron points, di ba? Ito siya. Continuous kapag ginraph, tuloy-tuloy. So ibig sabihin, continuous ito. How about from from negative infinity to 0? Ito yon. Line ito class. Ibig sabihin, extending pa tong curve na to . So from negative infinity class to 0, meron naka-define na points. So ito yung mga yon. Diba? So ibig sabihin, continuous pa rin siya. Kapag sa positive naman, dito, meron ding naka-define na points. So ibig sabihin, continuous din siya. So itong tatlo, continuous. Okay? So another. Kapag naman ito, meron siyang hole doon. Continuous pa rin ba yung negative 1 to 1? And sabi ko kapag tinitrace yung graph or yung curve, kailangan tuloy-tuloy. From the word continuous. So since may hole siya, in this case, hindi na siya continuous or discontinuous na yung sagot. Okay? Kasi may hole dito. From negative 1 to 1. Ito, yung interval na to, yung range. Yung letter B, 0.5 to 2. Saan ba yung 0.5? To 2. Ito. So meron bang points para doon? Ayan. So nalaktawan na niya si hole. So meron dito hanggang doon. So ibig sabihin continuous pa rin siya. Continuous siya dito. Kasi hindi naman umabot dito. Unlike dito sa negative 1 tsaka 1 class, nasa range niya or nasa interval. Kaya discontinuous dito. Okay? Ayan. So take note lang dun sa mga ano natin. So you can use this kung walang graph. So these are all facts. So a function f is said to be continuous A everywhere if f is continuous at every real number. In this case, we also say the function is continuous on all real numbers. Okay? And then, ito rin. So so hindi ko na babasahin isa-isa. So, take note na kapag parenthesis yan class, ibig sabihin, hindi included yung A tsaka B. Pero kapag square bracket, included yung A. Okay? And this one. So, ito, pwede nyong magamit ito class. Anyway, I will upload the PowerPoint. Just like I'm always doing dun sa first two topics natin. Example number 3. Determine the largest interval over which the function f of x is equal to square root ng x plus 2 is continuous. Determine the largest interval over which the function f of x equal to square root of x plus 2 is continuous. So ano yung largest interval? Dito naman class, tinatanong kung ano yung interval na pwede dito. Take note, kapag square root class, hindi pwede yung negative. So bale, yung largest interval na pwede dito is yung negative 2 pwede pa, kasi negative 2 plus 2 is 0, square root of 0 is 0. And negative 1. Ibig sabihin, yung greater than negative 2, including negative 2. So, ibig sabihin, yung interval dito class is square bracket negative 2 hanggang positive infinity. Kasi dun lang naka-define yung mga points. Di pwede yung mas mababa sa negative 2. Kapag negative 3 na ito, let's say, example, so negative 3 plus 2, negative 1, square root of negative 1, yung sagot doon is not a real number. So hindi na siya naka-define. Okay, again, the interval here is square bracket negative 2, comma, positive infinity. Parenthesis, close parenthesis. How about this one? Determine the largest interval over which h of x equal to x over x squared minus 1 is continuous. Ayan. So, isipin nyo lang class kung ano yung mga values na papwede dito sa function na ito wherein hindi siya mag-undefined. Or pwedeng pabaliktad. Ano ba yung mga values na magpapa-undefined dito? Ito yung magzi-zero yung denominator, di ba? So yung value na wherein magiging 0 ito kapag 1 ito class. Di ba? 1 minus 1 is 0. Ngayon, kailan ba mag-1 ito? Kapag 1 yung x, 1 squared. Di ba? Or ano pa yung isa? Negative 1 squared is also 1. Okay, so ibig sabihin yung interval nito class, pwede nyong sabihin all real numbers except for negative 1 and 1. Kasi hindi pwede yung mga yon. All real numbers except yung negative 1 at saka yung 1. Kasi magka-undefined siya dito. Okay? So yun yung sagot dito class. How about this? Example number 5. Consider the function g of x. So piecewise. When you say piecewise, piece by piece yung functions natin. So merong corresponding functions for specific value of x or input value. So is g continuous on 0 to 1? Class, take note again, kapag ganito, big sabihin hindi kasali yung 0. Kapag square bracket, kasali yung 1. It's like in here. From 0 to 1. Pero hindi kasali si 0. Kapag ganito, may underline, ibig sabihin kasali si 1. So ito yung ibig sabihin nito. Okay. So, having said that, ibig sabihin naka-define itong interval na to, which is 3. Kapag pala yung values ng x is ganito, yung output is 3. Therefore, class, continuous ito. Kasi merong naka-define na points para sa kanya. How about this one? Kapag 4 going to positive infinity. Ibig sabihin nito, all the values greater than 4, but not including 4 kasi parenthesis. Okay? So, meron bang function para doon? Ito siya, x minus 3, which is a linear function. So, ibig sabihin, merong mga points para doon. So, this is also continuous.